I saw you. We were breaking bread, having some black eyed peas and collard greens and cornbread at the Holiday Estate in South Carolina. It's good to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And I, again, want to thank you for inviting me to come up and watch some football with your family. I got to meet your family, your mom, your dad, sister, brother in law, niece, nephews, and more importantly, your son, and hang out with y'all and enjoy a good day of fellowship, fun. And I think we watched Alabama beat Notre Dame.
We
And I
did.
left, yeah,
We did watch the Bama Notre Dame game. That went about how I expected it. But Dell, my Tigers got embarrassed last weekend on
they
all
did, David.
aspects of the game.
They did in every aspect of the game. The better team won that night. The team that was the better team, and I've got to believe if they would have played 10 times, Ohio State would probably win 8 of those.
No, well,
They were just
I
a
wouldn't
better
go that
team.
far. I wouldn't go that far, Dell. Wouldn't.
Well, I know you wouldn't, but I will. I'm
Yeah.
willing to go that far. I
Well,
tell you, the one thing, and then I'll let you say something. The one thing I regretted due to the fact that I wanted to get back early. Initially, we had agreed for me to come up and watch the Clemson Ohio State game with you guys, which was the later game, the 8 o'clock kick or the 8:15 kick. But I had my granddaughter and I wanted to get back earlier so I could be with her. So I came up and watched the Alabama Notre Dame game. But once I got home and I saw how the game was turning out with Clemson and Ohio State, I thought about getting back in my car and going back up and hanging out with you guys during the beatdown.
yeah, the doors would have probably been locked by then. Um, the game got away early. 400 total yards of offense by halftime. Skowski ejected again
I know.
in a
I
big
know.
game. Nolan Turner, we're waiting on to get him back in the second half because he gets ejected in the Notre Dame game for targeting. It was frustrating to watch. Um, I don't really have much to say. I mean, it was a good old fashioned butt kicking. Um, Reminded me a little bit of the butt kicking we took last year against LSU, but it was a good season, you know, 10-win season. But when you get to this level where you're used to playing in championships, you know, anything less than that feels disappointing. I remember many years hoping that, man, if we could just win 10 games or play in an ACC championship game, I'd be happy. And I was. But now, with the type of talent that Dabo's recruiting and with Trevor Lawrence at the helm, you know, you want to win those big ones. And let me tell you, it wasn't going to be against that Ohio State team. Sure wasn't going to be against this Alabama team. But we get to see the two of them face off this, what is it, tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
And
Yeah.
I think my personal opinion is that Alabama's going to roll tomorrow night. I think that Ohio State played out of their head a little bit. I think it was personal for them. Dabo comes out on national news and ranks them 11th, which I'm like, Dabo, please just adding fuel to the fire. Justin Fields had a storybook game after getting hit like that and then came on the field grimacing and played the way that he did. It was incredible. And I have been a Justin Fields fan for a long time. I've been paying attention to him and Trevor when they were playing in high school together. They were the top quarterbacks of that class. I've seen them ranked one, Trevor, and two, Justin Fields. I've seen them both ranked number one, where Trevor was the number one dual number one passing quarterback and Justin Fields number one dual threat. But these guys grew up 40 minutes apart. Two incredible talents like that. Clemson picked up Trevor, and the Bulldogs of Georgia picked up Justin Fields, and they didn't play him. I never could figure out why they didn't play him. They played Frome, which was the most overrated college quarterback, and they lost him. They lost Justin Fields transferred to Ohio State. Then he
Well,
goes and plays the Big Ten championship and didn't look good, and his stock went down.
yeah,
But I
it
was
did.
happy for him. I was happy for Justin Fields that he played well, played fantastic, and we'll see what he does tomorrow night.
Well, I'll tell you this: I am no fan of Ohio State. I'm not at all. I'm just not an Ohio State Buckeye fan. I would never pull for them under any circumstances, except when they're playing Clemson. And Justin played well. He played very well, and he needed to because he had a subpar game against Indiana, and of course in the Big Ten championship game. But I'm familiar with what goes on in the state of Georgia. I lived there 5 years. You talk about both of those kids coming out of Georgia. Georgia is a state that is just has an overflow, an abundant supply of special high school football players that come out of there and go all over the country and play, and then are in the NFL. But I'm going to tell you, you're back to what you think is going to happen tomorrow. I tend to agree with you, David. You talk about all the weapons that Mac Jones has got at his disposal. The Heisman Trophy winner Smith, Harris in the backfield, and the receiver that got hurt earlier in the year. I think I heard it was a possibility he was going to play tomorrow. So you add that to the combination. And Alabama is so explosive and can score at any time. It's not that normal grind it out, run it out, play good defense Alabama, low-scoring games that they were several years ago. This is a team that can light you up and will light you up, pushing the ball downfield, throwing deep bombs, deep passes. They just turn out great wide receivers that go on to the next level in the NFL. But Ohio State's talented. They're well coached. That's also a state that has a lot of great high school talent in it as well, and a lot of it stays in state at Ohio State. So I think Alabama's going to win, but it could be a lot closer than we think it's going to be. I think right now Alabama's an 8.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I would take that bet. I really do think that that Clemson Ohio State game was emotional for them. We'll see. We'll see if there's a carry-on effect in the championship game. But after seeing the performances of those two teams, I do think that they are the two best teams in college football. But I did see an Oklahoma fan down there make a comment. Oklahoma had a big win in their bowl game.
They did. Look real good.
I think that after seeing that performance, I think they were better than Notre Dame. And I could see where they would be frustrated that they weren't in the top four. They would have given Alabama a better shot than Notre Dame did.
I agree. I don't think Notre Dame should have been there after the lopsided defeat to Clemson, but we had no control over that. And, well, David, we're about 21, 22 minutes into this thing, and we have yet to see the face of Avi Klein, so why don't we bring Mr. Klein in? Now, right. 22 minutes in.
Tell you right now, as far as the female demographic is concerned, they might be a bit upset that it took 20 minutes for me to show up on this broadcast. But guys and gals, and especially the gals out there, all good things come to those who wait. And right now, we're going to start off with a brand new segment. We're going to be talking about something motivational in about 1 minute. Dell brought this up to me on the phone earlier. I want to shout every single person out, but before we do that, David Holliday, something happened last night in the green room. A lot of miscarriages of justice going around, and we experienced it wholeheartedly last night. We did. In the green room. I know that we had massive numbers. We thank all of you. Over 300,000 viewers watched the green room live last night. Incredible. Highest viewed green room of all time. We're breaking all kinds of records across the board, and we are going to brag about that. You know why? Because we're bragging about the fact that we've got the greatest contingent of viewers across the board, regardless of what show it is. 6 figures every single night for live views in the last 2 months. That is incredible. So we thank you for that. But David Holliday, I don't think you're very thankful in terms of what the events brought to you last night at the tail end of the green room.
No, I'm incredibly frustrated. We had Todd came on from right guard last week, and we saw the charts. We saw the numbers. I'm killing it on the green room. But yet James has this power still where he can decide who's going to be the prosecuting attorney and who's going to be the judge. Yeah. And he went out and got Mike Drosy, Duke the Dumpster, to be the judge. And then Mario Mancini takes the prosecuting job. And Mario's a real attorney. I mean, this is not good. And I was surprised he took it because, Mario and I we've moved on. I thought I'm hurt. I'm not worried yet. But this is definitely.
But how many more obstacles do you have to go through? How many more obstacles I don't think it's really fair. And you could tell that Mike Drosy, Judge Drosy, he's getting comfortable with his new nameplate, as you could see, based on that clip that I paused right to my right screen. Judge Drosy will be the judge in the trial of David Holliday. Mario Mancini is going to be the leading prosecuting attorney. I'm going to take care of Dave. I'm building a very good defense. And this Saturday night, we will announce who I've actually summoned in, who's agreed to make part of this great defense of David Holiday. I got to tell you, it's going to be a bombshell. That'll be announced towards the tail end of the show next Saturday night. You want to catch that because, believe me, Mario, Duke, James, and even Todd, you want to stack the deck? We're ready to go. We're confident in our team, David Holiday.
That's right. That's right. Like I said before, I'm going to be eating my popcorn and drinking soda pop during this trial. This is just a small little challenge here, but we're going to put a team together that's going to challenge these guys, and this is going to be a quick one because we've got a mission after this one. Mickey's gone. Now we got to get rid of Howard, and then it's time for the big boys to come out and play. Right, Del?
Absolutely, David Holiday. I endorsed you last week on Mike Drosy's podcast as we surprised him that we were actually in the same room together and just dropped a bombshell on them. And the three great minds of Avi Klein, Del Wilkes, and David Holiday came up with that idea. And three intellectuals, three great thinkers came up with that idea. And what a trio it is. But David, I'm in your corner, buddy. You're gonna do it.
God, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, Del. You know, it hasn't happened yet where co-hosts have got a chance to hang out, but hey, right. We do. That's what we do.
And hey, guys, Del's going to actually start policing the show next week. He'll watch some of the comments. He'll make sure he takes care of some of those negative comments towards David Holiday. So Del will be watching the show, I'm sure, next week.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was getting hammered a little bit on Facebook and had to let somebody know that snitches get stitches. And I noticed Del was right there backing me up on that.
Absolutely, David. I got you back, brother.
This is the winning team, guys. Cream of the crop always rises. I want to thank everybody for the kind words. We'll be seeing David Holiday very, very soon. That is the Holiday King. Mindy, thank you for your comments. Jump on the Holiday train. Everyone did a great job. Thank you. That's greatness. Thank you for the kind comments. Awesome green room. You guys are amazing. Again, we started out with a proverbial donut way back in July. Right now, we're only 6 months in. That is still brand new for podcasts, whatever you want to call them. I don't think we're podcasts. I think we're more than that. We're variety shows, talk shows, all rolled into one. But we stand for something, and we will give you everything we have across the board, 24/7, literally and figuratively. Why? Because we're on 7 days a week, 90 minutes, 2 hours every single day, unedited, unscripted, unfiltered. Who else can give you that? Nobody else can. We're the top-rated and top-viewed wrestling-related podcast. Why? Because we're wrestling with anything but. Everything under the moon, we cover. Everything that you want to talk about, we will talk about. And we're live. We don't edit anything, and we're interactive. That means you are the engine that makes this thing go, and without you, we don't have any shows. So thank you for giving us what you have. 2.4 million of you at some point have watched us, and we want to thank you right off the bat. And speaking of right off the bat, even though I don't condone the man that's representing this product, I do condone the product. Why? It's a great product, guys and gals. It's called Right Guard. I think you know by now. Some new inventory is finally coming. And you know what? For now, Extreme Defense and Arctic Refresh, I love it. Because anytime you're sweating and you're watching the green room and you're watching guys like David Holiday and Avi Klein being mistreated, I know that it irks you. I know that you're sweating up a storm the way that we are. But you got your Right Guard next to you, and that's why you're A-OK in my book. Right Guard, Arctic Refresh, Extreme Defense, 72 hours. Get a 1-pack. Get a 2-pack. Get as many as you can. Don't tell them that James sent you. Tell them that Avi sent you. Subscribe to Right Guard. And guys, we also subscribe to our lineup, which I will get into, and we have a brand new segment that we will unveil officially right now. But before we do that, in case you're living under a rock, you know that you can catch us 7 days a week, every single day, 24 hours. We are always going to be broadcasting no matter what, starting with Monday, the Preview and Review Show at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday to Double Dip, Part 1 of the Double Dip, Breaking the Ice, Glacier Reload, Avi Klein, Eastern on Part 2 of the Double Dip, Face Value, Build 'em on Avi Klein, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, every Wednesday, Maintaining the Truth, Paul Roman, Avi Klein, 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, WWE Hall of Fame, The Rock on Avi Klein, for Making Waves, 5 p.m. Eastern on Noon Hawaiian Time, on Friday, Podcast with Purpose, Road to Recovery, Duke the Numbers for Mike Drost and Avi Klein, 6 p.m. Eastern on 5 Central, on Saturday. Yes, it's a bunch of perps, they're all going to jail. Howard Collado, Mickey Knoll, not David Holiday, not Avi Klein, The Green Room, 11 p.m. Saturday night. On Sunday, do your eyes deceive you? I don't think so. You don't need a prescription. Why? You look at the Patriot Del Wilkes and Avi Klein for a hard-hitting podcast on Unmasking the Truth every Sunday live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And guys and gals, it is my choice to lower my voice. It is my choice to lower my voice. I know I gave you this last week, so this is the last time I'll give it to you, and tomorrow I'll give you a different analogy. Why? Because some of you asked for it again, so here we go. One once was fine. I'll take two, and I'll give you two. I'm going to lower my voice because when I walk around and I notice that my boss or anybody else's boss is grumpy and angry and hostile, I don't raise my voice. I'm very alert and respectful. So I'm going to lower my voice and sneak around him and tap him on the shoulder and say, "Boss, please, right now we're about to head into maybe another quarantine, another national lockdown. I can't deal with that." And he goes to, "Why can't you deal with that? Why? Don't you have any kind of intestinal fortitude to deal with what life hands you? You say, yeah, I can, but I need